शांति शांति। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Suppose a person is with a certain disease, and that disease will have certain symptoms. So that first step is that the symptoms needs to be addressed. Then only you can approach the disease fundamentally. Suppose you have a headache today, and then you go pop in some pill, the headache is handled. Day 2, again you have headache, so you go take a pill, then you handle the headache. Day 3, again pill. 4th day, 5th day. Is it intelligent to take a pill again on the 10th day? No. There must be something wrong with the system. You have to fundamentally address it. So all the systems, all the things that you find in the world, no doubt give you temporary solutions. It's like the headache pill. Immediately you are feeling dukkha, and there is a immediate solution to handle that dukkha. So there is frustration, and then there is some avenue for you to neutralize that frustration. You are feeling depressed, and there is some avenue to come out of that. But then the problem of samsara, the dukkha, is not that one day is there and second day it is not there. It is continuous. All the time the person, is experiencing the same dukkha, but always seeking temporary solutions, never paying attention fundamentally. So what is happening? It's like on day 12 also you take a headache pill again. How long can you go on? One fine day the system breaks down. That's what is happening in humanity. Nobody is interested to fundamentally address the problem of samsara. What is that samsara? A life where you constantly feel incomplete. You're always feeling incomplete. And in order to fill that void, you go into the world, you're doing 100 million things. In the process, again you are getting hurt, again you are getting frustrated, and some relief is also there. You know, it's like there's a mosquito bite. You are scratching. So yes, in fact, if you scratch really, what happens? You try now, you just scratch yourself now. Do it. Do it. Scratch yourself. So you'll have pain, a small pain. But when there is a mosquito bite, you're scratching and you think that there is a relief. Really speaking, it's not relief, it's you are neutralizing one pain with another pain. This is what is happening in samsara. So some pain is there, you do not know how to handle it, and you go for something else. In the process it has caused you pain, but we do not know what is happening at all. So we have to fundamentally address the disease, fundamentally address the problem, and that's what Vedanta does, is fundamentally addressing the problem. Humanity is obsessed with quick fixes. 1-minute solutions, 2-minute solutions. Hungry, 2-minute noodles. You put it, doesn't cook, get cooked in 2 minutes. Some youngsters were in the ashram one day and we thought we will make noodles for them. We put, and the instruction said, may boil for 2 minutes. We had to boil for 10 minutes. It did not get cooked in 2 minutes. So, but quick fixes, they are there, 2-minute noodles, 2 minutes upma, everything is there now. But you go on eating that, what happens to your health, you only know. You are the pratyaksha pramana for that, the effect on your health. So we need to address the problem fundamentally through vichara, through analysis. And that's what Upanishad does. Addressing the problem of human life, addressing the fundamental problem fundamentally, not superficially. Not superficially. And suppose there is a disease, it is also important to first treat the symptoms, isn't it so? So that then there is that gap to fundamentally cure the disease also. So there is disease called samsara, incompleteness, and the symptoms of it is getting expressed as restlessness of mind, over-involvement with the world, the excessive extrovertedness of the mind. All these have to be first addressed so that you get that gap. Mind first settles down. It allows you to operate the problem fundamentally. That's why the first step, first things first. First things first, Upanishad is addressing it. What it is? First, to free the mind. First, address the mind. First, cure the symptoms, superficial symptoms which are there externally, so that you can handle, operate and solve the problem fundamentally. That is what Upanishad is telling. So we will look into what Upanishad is saying. Third verse. Yato nirvishayasya manaso muktirishyate ato nirvishayam nityam manah karyam mumukshuna. As I said earlier, the mind is hijacked by desires. First, you address what is this whole saga of desires and fulfillment and running behind it, so that you create some mental space. Mind first must be available. Mind is filled with hundreds of trash things. Then there is no space available to think about anything higher. So first things first, mind has to be handled, and these desires have to be handled. Moving further, nirasta vishaya sangam sanniruddham manahridi yada ayati atmano bhavam tada tat paramam padam. So Upanishad is giving us a glimpse. So what really happens finally by handling of the mind? Once you handle your mind, what is the fruit, the phalam that you are going to gain by getting antahkarana shuddhi, and also in the process gaining samadhi shatka sampatti, and with the sadhanas of shravana, manana, nididhyasana, listening to the words of the shastra, shravanam, then further inquiring, reflecting upon the words of the shastra as heard by the guru, and then finally nididhyasanam, contemplating and making your own, that vision, making your own that vision that you heard, which you understood, now you absorb, assimilate and make it your own, which is nididhyasanam. What is the fruit of it? Tadatat paramam padam. So Upanishad is telling, if you undergo all these sadhanas as prescribed, then you attain paramam padam. You attain the highest abode. You attain the supreme state of being, It is not going to some loka. Paramam padam means immediately our orientation is some Vaikuntha or some loka, Kailas loka or somewhere. So paramam padam is what? Is getting established in one's own self. That is the paramam padam. So how does one gain? Nirasta vishaya sangam. When that mumukshu, that seeker, has renounced all attachment to the sense organs, sense objects. All attachment towards the sense objects are given up. How? We analyzed it by knowing that sense objects can never give me ultimate happiness. They can give me some sensations. See, what you are really experiencing through the sense objects is sensations. English has very good word. Sense object, sense organ, sensation. Sense organ comes in contact with the sense object, and what is there? We think happiness. No, sensation. As long as the tongue is in contact with the ice cream, there is the sensation which you have mistaken to be happiness. No. What is the other side of that ice cream? Dukkham. Nothing. Weight gain. You stand on the weighing scale, you will be like, oh my God, what happened? What did I eat in my US trip? What did I eat? So, this is what Buddha seems to be telling, sarvam dukkham. Meaning what? Not ultimately everything is dukkham, no. In the Vyavaharika world, anything you touch, anything you feel, anything you see, seems to be giving you happiness, seems to be source of ananda or happiness. No, they are the source of dukkham alone. Ultimately, they give only dukkha to you, can never give you sukha. And then definitely not paramananda. It is just a sensation. Just a sensation. So if we traverse through the world with this objectivity, this only is vairagyam. You know that what I am experiencing is just a sensation, nothing else. That sensation will be there for some time, and after that it goes away. I am okay with it. If you know, have this objectivity, you can very easily run through the world. You can go through life experiences. Everything is a sensation. Everything a sensation. Sanniruddham manahridi. Then establish the mind in its source. Hridi. Hridi can be heart. One explanation is heart, and hridi can be chaitanyam, atma chaitanyam also. So dissolve the mind in its source. Make the mind to abide in its source. So that is also another expression. Yada ayati atmanaha bhavam. So this person, this mumukshu, having put forth this effort, he obtains the nature of self itself, thus gaining the paramam padam. Why? Because all this while the person was identifying with the sensations, with the body, with the sense organs, with all the things of the world. Now the mind has become antarmukhi. Mind which was all the time bahirmukha, all the time involved with the world, now with logic, with analysis, with our own analyzing our own experiences, we have understood that ultimately, fundamentally, mind cannot be all the time extroverted, bahirmukha. For vyavahara, yes, we need a mind which is bahirmukha. But if you want to fundamentally, from the standpoint of paramarthika, ultimate reality, you want to analyze your life, then the mind has to turn inward. And the mind turns inward and only to recognize the ever-shining self which is ever present. See, the entire crux, the vision of Vedanta Shastra is not something very, very difficult to understand or appreciate. It is the most simple and the profound vision available. Because the mind is so cluttered, it seems like a big understanding that I am in for. But for a pure mind, a mind which is free from the hold of desires, that mind can very easily appreciate the self. And this analysis of Drik-Drishya Viveka gives us immediate grasp of what that self is. What is my true nature? It is the self-evident self. You see, when we are operating with 100% body identification, we do not know what is only. We miss what is, that which is ever present. Because our entire focus is on changing objects. We fail to recognize that which is ever present. Shastra comes in a means of knowledge for this analysis and shows you a way, a method to appreciate the self which is ever present, which is ever available. Shastra introduces this small method which is technically called as a prakriya to point out the self which is ever present. You are, aren't you there here? Now how do you know that? You just know. You just know that you are. You do not require any other pramana. You don't have to turn to your wife or the neighbor and ask, am I present? Swatassiddha. You are present. You are. That's a self-evident fact. Nobody needs to validate your existence. You are and you know that. You are aware of it. You are and you are aware of that your existence. And this existence itself is called as Sat in Upanishad. What is Sat? Existence. You are present. Sat. You are and you are aware of your existence. Chit. Knowledge, knowingness. That you are and you are aware of this fact. And you do not need dependence on any other means of knowing and any other means of knowledge. It is ever present that you are. And now you are present. And what is another aspect of you? And what is that another aspect of I which is ever present here? You see that you are a silent witness of everything. Of everything. You see, you are and you are aware of the body. Aren't you aware of the body? Yes, you are. You are aware of the body. Suppose there is a pain in the toe. You are aware of that pain. You are aware of the fingers. You are aware of the head. You are aware of the entire body. And Upanishad gives you another clue to have more insight about this you, this I, this constant presence. You as an observer, you as a silent witness, whatever you experience, whatever you observe, you are separate from it. You are the observer of this object, thus you are separate from it. Isn't it so? This object is there and you are aware of this object. So what you know, you are separate from that object. You know this lecture hall because you are separate from it. You see the temple, you are separate from the temple. You see the trees and you are somebody other than the trees. Similarly, we miss this logic, this point, this insight. I am aware of the body, thus I must be separate from the body. Because you are very evidently able to appreciate the body, every aspect of the body, every pain, every gain, every sensation in the body. Why? Because you are something other than the body. You are the witness of the body. Just as you are witnessing this fan, you are witnessing this body. But without this Vedantic insight, without the total appreciation of this fact, what is my understanding? I am this body. You never take this fan to be you. It is separate from you. But you take this body to be yourself. Even though the body is definitely separate other than you. See, so many times in life, suppose a person, a particular person has now a gangrene in the foot. All this while, that feet were worshipped. And that person has got hundreds of pedicure also for that feet. Has put nail polish, had put shoes, had put anklet, whatsoever. Always that person considered that to be me, that foot to be me. And now the gangrene has come. He or she goes to the doctor. The doctor says, we have to chop it off. We have to amputate. Immediately the person, yes, let it be so, no problem. Arey, all this while you are calling it my holy feet and my important feet and my beautiful feet and this and that. How are you ready to part with it? All these are insights to know that you are something other than the body. Other than the body. You are able to part with a limb so easily. Somebody is able to part with a kidney to save his brother or save his sister or her brother. So you know that all that you considered as you all the time, but in certain situations of life itself, we are able to separate ourselves with organs of the body. And it's an evident fact that I am something other than the body. Now you see, in regular day conversations itself, you pick up the phone to your friend or sister or brother. Whatever, today my mind is disturbed. Today I am restless. Mind is confused. Mind is depressed. How are you able to say that? How are you able to see that? Because you are the witness of the contents of the mind. But then, Ajnanam is there, you do not know how to make sense of the whole thing. First you say, my mind is very restless today, I am depressed. Mind is restless, I am depressed. Mix up happened. You identified with the mind. But you are somebody separate from the mind, witness of the mind. You are the witness of the Annamaya Kosha. You are other than the Annamaya Kosha. Body gets the technical name in Vedanta as Annamaya Kosha. Kosha means an as though cover, an as though layer, which seems to be obstructing my own true self. And what is that layer made up of? Anna, food. The body is but food. You are aware of your mind, the content of the mind. But once you identify, you become disturbed. Mind is disturbed. Mind is restless. Mind is depressed. Let it be so. We can handle it. But I am somebody other than that. I must appreciate this fact. I must appreciate this fact. So one of our students of Arsha Vidya Kendra, once it seems her young son, he was 6 or 7-year-old boy, he came to Swami Sadatmananda ji in Bangalore, and Swamiji asked, he was not feeling very well. His mother had told Swamiji that he has some tooth problem or something. So Swamiji asked him out of concern, so how are you? I am fine, my tooth is paining, he said. He told Swamiji, I am fine, my tooth is paining. The 6-year-old has a lot big insight in life. We just have to operate with that insight in Vedanta. I am fine as I am, as an observer, as a witness of the body, I am fine. The disease is in the body. I am the witness of the disease. Arthritis is in the knees, and I am the witness of that arthritis. I am fine. There is pain in the knee. I am fine. There is pain in the back. I am fine. I have restlessness in the mind. I am fine. The mind is depressed. So if you can create this separation, this itself is the Vedantic insight. Drik Drishya Viveka. I am ever present, and I am ever present as the witness of it all, as a witness of it all. There is prana, the breath and all its functions in the body. I am the witness of the breath. Pranamaya kosha. I am the witness of the pranamaya kosha. I am the witness of manomaya kosha, the mind, and all its functions and activities. So that mind, in Vedanta, we put it under 4 categories: manaha, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. Manaha, that mind which is always wandering between 2 things. That is a mind. So it is going to 2 poles all the time, here and there. That aspect is the mind. One same antahkarana, we are looking at from 4 different standpoints. Buddhi, intellect, one aspect of mind, where finally mind sees few things and comes to a logical conclusion, one decision. That faculty of decision making, analyzing and decision making, buddhi. The same mind has the function of storing some informations, memory, chitta. Ahankara, same mind also has an identity, false identity, that I am so and so, I am so and so person. So ahankara. If you see, you are the witness of all of it, all of it. Suppose you were to, somebody asks you to introduce yourself and all the things about you. There is this personality, you, which you consider as yourself. So isn't all that information evident to you? Aren't you the observer of that entire information and that entire picturestic view of this body and all its relationships with the world and its accomplishments in the world? Yes, you are something separate from it. And this I, analysis of this I, what is the nature of this I? What is this nature of this Sat and Chit? What is the nature of it? Is it just restricted to this body? Is it just restricted to this mind? Or is it finite? Or is it infinite? Shastra walks in and says, Tattvamasi. This I, which is evident to you, which is self-evident, and as a constant witness of everything, which is knowingness also, which is existence, and which is, what is that existence? Like a stone, is it jadam? No, this existence is consciousness also. It is a conscious existence, that you are aware that you are. And what is the extent of it? It is not limited, it is not finite, it is infinite, it is Brahman. Tattvamasi. It is Anantam. So that Shastra walks in and makes us realize. Otherwise, in the regular Vyavaharika day-to-day life, what is one's experience? That I am this personality, I am this body, mind, sense complex, and I am limited, I am limited, I am limited. I am small, I am small, I am small. See, a big businessman, I keep seeing this in the public life. This person is a big businessman in his own right, running a big business. But some multi-millionaire businessman also comes. So they both meet in a context. This big businessman says, oh, you are all doing very big business. We are all just running something. We have a big appreciation for you. Whatever may be your position and all, this is the smallness doesn't leave you. Smallness doesn't leave you, because how much ever may be your wealth, whatever may be the strength of the body, whatever may be the strength of the intellect, there is always somebody higher than that. Always somebody higher than that. The smallness doesn't go away by accumulating few things. And nobody is comfortable with smallness. Isn't it so? Incompleteness and smallness. Nobody is comfortable with it, because it is not our real nature. If it was your real nature, you should have been very comfortable with it. The very fact that the small I, the small you are never comfortable with it, shows that your real nature is infinite, not finite. Shastra walks in to show us that this you, this I, which is self-evident, you just do drisya viveka and you obtain your true nature here, and furthermore expose the mind to the Shastra Pramana, which reveals the infinite nature of you, that you are the Brahman. This is the basic gist, the crux of Vedanta Shastra. A mind which has an appreciation for it is free here and now. No more identification with the finite. That 4-year-old boy, I am fine, my tooth is paining. I am complete, there is some incompleteness in the body, of course. I am fine, there is some incompleteness in the relationships this body is dealing with. I am still fine. I am fine, other things may be fine or not fine. I am fine in spite of things. I am fine in spite of situations. This is the crux, this is the gist of the entire Vedanta Shastra, what Shastra is trying to convey. More often, we will not be able to have full appreciation of this vision. Shastra understands this fact very much. That's why Upanishad is not ending in this mantra, it is going further also. It is going further. It is going further. Why? Because this clarity, if a mind which is not ready cannot hold on to this clarity. You may have an intellectual appreciation of it at the level of Shravanam. You have gained this knowledge, but if the mind is not trained, you cannot retain this understanding. Why training of mind is so important is that you bring this understanding to your day-to-day life also. It is not some piece of information sitting there. An orientation may persist even after knowledge. You have this insight. You know that this fact that yes, isn't it obvious now that I am always separate from whatever I am seeing, whatever I am experiencing. It is there, this knowledge is there, but an orientation may still be there. What is that orientation? Suppose you are in US for 10 years or 15 years, 20 years. And then you come back to India. There it is the left hand driving. So you come to India, now you go towards the left door here. Why do you go? You only came back from US. You know that in India the driving is not on the right side of the car. It is not in the left side, but automatically you go there towards the left side. Why? It's not that you lack knowledge, but at the mind is not trained to hold on to that understanding, to hold on to that knowledge. Orientation is still there. That's why Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. This orientation you correct with repeated Shravanam, repeated Mananam, repeated reflection, repeated meditation. So you correct that practice. Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati ji used to give another example. So as you enter your bedroom, your light switch is on the right hand side. So now there is some problem with the switchboard. You called the electrician and put that switchboard from right side to left side. You only did all that. But the same evening you go into your bedroom, immediately your hand goes to right side. Why? Is it that you lack knowledge? No. But the mind is not oriented to appreciate this knowledge. So similarly, in the Kathopanishad Rathakalpana, the charioteer may be extremely well trained and the horses are very good but untrained. Very horses full of strength but untrained. And the reins, which is the mind, is not tied properly. So how much ever great the charioteer may be, the buddhi, the intellect is so strong, it has all the understanding and information and very good understanding, but at the level of the mind and senses it is not trained. What dushtasva eva saratehe. So whatever direction the ashwas go, dushta ashwas, untrained ashwas, the sarathi has to just go along. He do not have any control because they are so strong, they pull even the sarathi. That's why it's so important to train the mind so that we have full appreciation of this vision. Simple but profound vision. It's a profound insight. What you need only is a mind to appreciate this vision. So Shastra, the AMRITABINDHU Upanishad, takes us further in giving us guidance to master this mind, to gain a mastery over this mind so that you have the appreciation for this vision. Verse number 5. Tavadeva nirodhavyam yavat hridigatam kshayam yavat hridigatam shayam etat jnanam cha dhyanam cha shesho nyayascha vistaraha etat jnanam cha dhyanam cha shesho nyayascha vistaraha. Now, AMRITABINDHU Upanishad is giving us some practical guidance. Now, mind has to be mastered. Mind has to be controlled. Mind has to be undergoing these samskaras. How long? For how long should you restrain the mind? For how long should you keep on training the mind? How long? Yavat hridigatam kshayam. So Upanishad is telling, till that time you have to train the mind, you have to keep on working on controlling your mind, training your mind, mastering your mind, till it gets dissolved in its source, till it resolves in the heart space. That means what? The symbolic way of telling, till that mind learns to just be. Till that mind learns to just be. Till then you need to control. See, this mastering control involves some disciplines. These disciplines are very important if you want to train and have a mastery over your mind. Till what time is it required? Till these disciplines are required, till when? If you look at it, see, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa gives this very beautiful illustration. He gives the example of a sapling which is planted on the roadside. Okay? And then what do the government people do? The sapling they put a metal cover around it. Why they put? Because a cow may come and eat up the leaves and the plant is dead, sapling is dead. Or some college students may come and then pluck the leaves, it is gone. or somebody may step on it and that is destroyed. So initially all these disciplines are required. So you put a boundary around you, a boundary around you. So till when they will put the metal retainer or whatever boundary around it, till that sapling goes and grows into a tree where nobody can disturb it anymore. The same sapling which could have been eaten up by a cow, which could have been pinched and torn by a college person or by a car which could have run over it, now the same sapling grows into a huge tree under whose shade all these cars and people and cows come. So that's a mind. Control is required, disciplines are required till when? Till the mind is free from raga dveshas, free from all the impurities, free from all the binding desires. And such a mind is a mind which doesn't need any control, any more disciplines, because that mind is free now. Only if the mind has an orientation to keep going to wrong direction, you have to pull back the mind. When the mind is used to the goodness, the mind is simply operating as an instrument. Antahkarana, inner instrument. What is the role of the mind? To go, get information and come back. So the mind is doing that role. It's simply there. So as long as mind is free, mind is free from raga dveshas and hold of desires, so long should you be training the mind. So that is what Upanishad is telling. Tavadeva nirodhavyam. The restraint is necessary only so long, yavat hridi gatam kshayam. Till that time the mind learns to simply abide as the mind itself, or simply abides in the nature of the self. So till then this effort is required. See, you may seem that it is all simple. I'll give you an exercise. Okay, it's my famous exercise. What do you do? So now how do you know, how do you analyze where you stand with reference to mind? Is it free from the hold of anything? If the mind is pure, should you still be in the disciplines, sadhanas of puja, temple, chanting, meditation, refraining from gossips, this, that? Should you continuously be in this disciplines, or time to let go of all of it? How? You just sit in your room, okay? Leave aside all your mobiles and all of it. Swamiji, can I have japamala? No. No japamala also. Swamiji, can I have Vishnu Sahasranama book? No. Swamiji, Vishnu Sahasranama book is such a great stotram. Can I have it? No. Bhagavad Gita? No. AMRITABINDHU Upanishad? No. Sweets and coffee? Nothing. Just a chair and you. Just sit there and see. 2 minutes passed, you are doing this. 3 minutes, you are shaking your hands or doing this and that. 4th minute, you feel like drinking water. 5th minute, the chanting oriented chanters will say, let us chant a shloka. Why simply sit? Let us chant. Mind goes into some chanting. Some other person, let me do something else. Let me chant Vishnu Sahasranama. No, mind is still not free. Can you sit with yourself? Leave aside Vedanta, Pramana, Shastra, AMRITABINDHU, Upanishad and all that. Can you sit with yourself? Can you enjoy your own company? Can the mind just be? Is it a possibility for you? If it's a possibility, then the mind is pure. The mind is free of all the restlessness. Mind is free of all the hold of desires and bondages. If it is not, nothing to worry about, nothing to feel shy about. We are all in the same boat of sadhana. So you take to sadhanas. Train the mind. Train the mind. How to train the mind? The discipline of japa. the discipline of puja, the discipline of temple, all of it helps you to train the mind. The discipline to continuously do your duties, because all the time you want to escape the duties. You want to escape the duties. Pujya Swamiji never used to encourage youngsters who used to escape and want to be monks and I want to be in ashram, want to be in this thing. Never encouraged. Swamiji never encouraged. He used to say, these people are unemployed and unemployable and they want to come and be in the ashram. This is not a place for them. Unemployed and unemployable. No, not that. I mean, we are not criticizing anybody. Like that person has jadatvam, some false vairagya, not true vairagya. Some false vairagya because this 22-year-old doesn't want to work in the world. So he or she wants to be in the ashram as an escape route of the duties. No, not allowed. Niyatam kuru karma. Whatever is the karma, whatever is your duty, do it with enthusiasm, without compromising a bit on that. So it's a duty-based life, a duty-based society. And that is karma yoga. Doing it with Ishwararpana Buddhi, doing your duties with Ishwararpana Buddhi is the karma yoga, which gives the Chitta Shuddhi. Chitta Shuddhi. So that is the real training of the mind. That mind which can abide in itself, which can abide in the self, in its own nature, that is the mind. And that must be our effort to gain such a mind. So we keep having meetings, keep wanting to meet people, but here is a wonderful person within. You have to meet that person. Which is that person? Atma Chaitanyam. For that mind has to get unattached with all other things for time being, so that you recognize this self which is ever present. See, that Kutastha Atma Chaitanyam, that consciousness which is ever present, it's like the bed of the pond or the lake. It is the foundation of everything. It is ever present, but the water is always shaky. Water is always murky. That's why you are never able to see what is underneath the lake. So mind has to settle down. When the waters called mind, when the waters of mind, when they settle down, then you come to appreciate what is ever present. So Upanishad is telling, Tavadeva nirodhavyam yavad dhriti gatam kshayam. Then yajnanam etad jnanam cha dhyanam cha. This is the real jnanam. Etad jnanam. This is the real knowledge. Dhyanam cha. This is the real meditation. This is the real effort, that the real sadhana of manana and nididhyasana that you should do. Shravana is happening because we are listening to Upanishad, means Shravanam is happening. So etad jnanam cha dhyanam cha. So you can take it as this is mananam, jnanam as mananam here. Etad jnanam means etat mananam. Dhyanam cha, etat nididhyasanam cha. So this is the mananam and this is the nididhyasanam. Sheshaha nyayaha cha vistaraha. All other things, all other words of the Upanishads, all other sadhanas, all other words in the Shastras are all nyayas, are all logical explanations, logics and other resources for you to get established in the self. But this is the Chakkaniraja Marga. This is the direct path. This is the straight path. What? Shravana, because AMRITABINDHU Upanishad, we are listening to the Rishi, and etat mananam. This mind has to settle down and you have to put forth effort. Munihi manana shilaha. What is a muni? You become muni when you do this. So who is that muni? One who has the capacity to do mananam. One who puts forth effort. One who puts forth effort. That is a muni. Etat jnanam cha dhyanam cha Sheshaha Nyayaha cha. Rest of it all words. Rest of all are words. And you have to hold on to this primary sadhana of Vedanta. Shankaracharya ji cautions in Viveka Chudamani. Shabdajalam Maharanyam Chitta Brahmana Karanam. The Vedas are full of words and words and words. There are 10 Upanishads of given commentary by Shankara. Then another list is 108 Upanishad. Then there is another list of 1008 Upanishads. So it doesn't end. So after Bhashya there is Tika. After Tika there is sub-commentary again. And there are Prakarana Granthas and initial texts, so many initial texts. And this, that, we are full of literature. That's why it took days and days for Nalanda University, when the invaders burnt the Nalanda University, it took days for all the Buddhist literature which was there in the Nalanda University. All those Buddhist books, whatever they could save, they saved and ran away to Nepal and other places, and rest of it took days to, it said it took 7 days for the Nalanda and kept on burning. That many Buddhist literature was housed in Nalanda and Takshashila and all those Buddhist universities. So this much of Shastra is there with us. So if you are only focused with the words, last class I told you, you become an intellectual who is all the time munching on very nice logics and very nice words. That is okay. Okay, we be in the pursuit of gaining knowledge, but then never miss the primary sadhana. What is that? Etad jnanam cha dhyanam cha, manana and nididhyasana. Having understood this, having appreciated this, we must expose ourselves to the Shastra and reflect on the vision of the Shastra and meditate upon the vision of the Shastra. Thus you are free here and now, and thus you have the full appreciation of your true being, that you are the Sat, you are the consciousness, and you are that which is ever present. You are never absent. Things, situations and objects keep on changing. They are absent, they are present. Light was there, light is absent now, but you are there, present as the witness of all of these phenomena. Health was in the body. At this age, certain health is lost, but you are there as a witness of that ill health also. You are there as a witness of wealth, increase and decrease of wealth. You are ever present. And you are the only reality of the universe. That is what Shastra is trying to tell us. And we gain full appreciation through the Upanishadic sadhanas. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.